Like, there's just so much to talk. Like,
it's a new dawn, Shane. It's a new dawn.
Got him.
Boom.
There's so much to talk about, but so little time to talk about it. Like, we were talking on the break, we're like, oh, we want to talk about so much. It's the pace of the game. Cards and gems, and it's a wonderful thing. I like that there is a overwhelming amount of stuff to talk about. As a caster, that makes you happy. By the way, there's a draft going on.
There is Muriel and Bellica banned out. Now, I'm not surprised by seeing these bans at all. Grand Gaming is going to pick up Iggy and Scorch right off the bat because he is the offlane bully, the offlane master, the offlane king. So Iggy and Scorch is going to be. He could play mid game this game. I have no idea until we get into the game itself. But Iggy and Scorch right off the bat. Who do you think? Who do you want to see this event? We've got Narbash, but who do you want to see? What hero do you want to see make a return or even be played in competitive play?
Countess. I don't know why I'm singing her name. I love Countess so much. You got to sing it. Sometimes you got to sing.
Sometimes. I don't disagree.
I think the heroes I was most looking forward to were Countess, Richter, and Wukong, and all of them I think are extraordinarily strong in this patch, especially Wukong. Even though he lost last game, I think he's just a really, really strong hero. Richter being picked up here by Grant. I almost called him Extra Time by Grand Gaming. That's not the name of the team. Again, I think Richter's better than Jungle Man. I don't think he's a good support. His kit, the way you play, what Richter brings to the field, and the way he changes the game, does not cater to a hero that's behind in levels and behind in farm. That's just my opinion.
Tell that to like Master Splinter or Phasma, who both dominate with that here.
You're right. I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong. It's my favorite thing.
That is not true. I know you personally. CNF-Esports is going to pick up Grux. So we've got Kwong offlane. We've got Grux in the jungle. I mean, we could have Grux support. I saw Lucera run Grux support. I bodied him, though. I just want to point that out. Lucera, if you're watching. Twin Blast is going to be picked up for CNF-Esports again. And then, of course, Murdoch Rampage over on the side of Grand Gaming. Rampage jungle. I think Rampage has made a Rampage. We saw a lot of Rampage before this patch came out, but Rampage has definitely made a return as the I want to say top jungler right now. He's really strong. And then CNF is going to pick up a Howitzer for their support. So looking at these drafts, Shane, I mean, we've got solid front lines. We've got good supports here.
Yep.
Great carries. This is going to be one of those, how do teams play it? Who's going to apply the pressure? I think the jungler's job right now, before it was we would see junglers farm up, try and get to that 3-minute mark, make sure they have all 3 abilities, pick up their river buff, and look for a gank. Junglers with this patch are I think, going to be much more aggressive than we've seen in the past. And that has me excited because I think the jungler role is one of the more dynamic positions, and it helps really determine who's going to win their lane matchup by how aggressive and how in your face that enemy jungler or the junglers can be. So
before we get into this game, I want to let everyone know who hasn't played Grux or played against a Grux or who hasn't seen Grux. He's a little derpy now, just so you know. Just be advised, it's okay. He's still hitting people with the maces, I promise. But with that being said, I actually think Grux, as far as a bruiser and like the damage he can do in mid game and late game, because the thing about junglers is their damage tends to fall off a little bit. I think with maybe the exception of Rampage. Grux though, his auto attacks, you can't disrespect the auto attacks derp attack. It actually does quite a bit of damage. Yeah,
he's got great control. His underhand swing, though, it will be evident. But no, Grux. I still think Rampage is a little bit stronger. But yes, Grux does provide a lot of control, a lot of damage, and that bleed. Picking up kills with that bleed is actually pretty satisfying when they're running away. Like, haha, I know you're gonna die here. So Shane, game number 2 of the day, CNF-Esports versus Grand Gaming. Shane, I'm gonna let you introduce whoever you want to introduce.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The Paragon Competitive League. In the blue side is going to be Saul on Iggy, Adrian GG on the Rampage shoe, on Richter, Radamaris on Murdoch, and Richie, man, over on the Gadget.
We've got Heck the Lion on Kwong. Tabernac is going to be on Narbash. Mighty You on Grux. Mournfall. There's a little engagement, a little invade here. Are they going to engage? Mornfall is on Howitzer in the mid lane. There's that landmine going to knock him back. But Adrian's in a lot of trouble here. Smasher Grab is going to land. They're going to pick up a kill really quick. Shu is in trouble here. He's very low.
The other shoe is about to drop. He's got to be careful here. There's the thunk, and this other shoe is going to drop. I'm so glad I got to say that. And 2 kills over early on the side of CNF. So CNF didn't have a very good game last time. This time they come back swinging, and they're not done yet. Look, they continue into the mid lane. Thunk going to land. Narbash with those big old drumsticks of his are going to bash the face of Richie Man, but he's going to be okay still. That's a way to instill. That's a good confidence boost after you kind of got rolled over by Reborn in the previous game. That's gonna make him feel pretty good.
Yep. So Mornfall is gonna be back on Howitzer, and Born is gonna be back. Is gonna be on Twin Blast. Look at this Twin Blast skin, Shane. I love this skin.
Is that Gabori? Is that Gamers Fitness Group?
If I could buy this shirt that Twin Blast is wearing, I would wear it every single day.
You would look so good in that, dude.
I'm super excited
chest out, right?
Chest out,
show off your
belly out, the whole thing, bro.
Oh, yeah, excellent. Thunk is going to land on a Solule. There is one way to deal with Iggy, I think, pretty well, and that's to be very aggressive against him, though you have to be careful about the certain setups there. Mid lane, both fall at the exact same time. Actually, yeah, the R2000 rocket as a sticky bomb went off, and they both get a double KO. Wrapping around is Mighty U over onto Iggy. This is what I want to see. I think this is the best way you deal with Iggy early on, Notch, and that is just being aggressive and don't ever allow him to set up turrets. But even then, you have to still be very, very careful. Charge, actually body blocking and beautifully done right there. And there's a Smasher Grab to secure the kill. Mighty U. Great utilization of the positional tool of Charge on Grubs.
Yeah, really, really good body block there. But like you were saying, don't let him set up. They need to make sure when the turrets come up, the carry is focusing those, making sure he's taking them down, because you can put up the turrets pretty quickly. So making sure they're being dealt with. Mornfall's going to get hit with a boulder here and a search straight. He is so low. Sticky bomb is there, and he's going to fall. Richie Man just being pretty aggressive in this mid lane here. Richie Man, he's got the sticky. He doesn't really have to. I mean, he's got to aim. He's got to aim, but he doesn't have to aim. Just as long as Mornfall gets close to that, he's going to get hit with that bomb. And that's a lot of damage early game. Mighty U trying to clear up this lane, keep this tower up here. Already down to 50%. We see the sticky bomb come out, and Mighty U is in trouble. Casters this patch, Shane, are very strong throughout the course of the game. It's no longer just early and mid-game. Yeah. They're strong throughout the entire course of the match. So making sure you don't let them get too fed is super important. Richie's going to get back to the safety of his tower here. I don't think they're going to continue to get aggressive on this with Mighty U being low.
One thing we saw in the previous match, there was a great deal of rotations, as there has been this game as well. But if those rotations aren't successful, it's a double-edged sword. You'll get under-leveled and just sort of fall apart at that point. And that was really one of the biggest reasons why Reborn had such a large level experience lead, is that the rotations were coming out from CNF-Esports, but the hooks weren't connecting, the CC wasn't connecting, the follow-up wasn't there. So, yes, we do see a very rotation-heavy style early on, currently inside of the game, which I think is more catered around the fact that this patch is so new, and people are still trying to figure out how to manipulate the map other than finding kills. But with all that being said, if you don't find those kills, you're going to be under-leveled, under-farmed, and put yourself in a very, very precarious situation transitioning to the mid-game.
Yeah. I want to talk about a couple of the gems. You guys can keep the action up. I'm just going to talk about them while stuff is happening here. Starting gems for a lot of these heroes. What are people picking up? We've got a couple quick exits. I like the quick exit for your mid laners and off laners. When you leave the your base, when you leave the fountain, it gives you that 350 movement speed boost, so you can get back to lane quicker. We've got healing towers. When you're standing underneath your tower, you're regenning health and mana. We've got a lot of quick exits, and then healing towers on the side of CNF. We've also got we've got an auto shield out for Gadget, which when he gets below 25% health, he'll gain his shields. Improved killing blows, which will improve your golds. We've no jungle ones, a lot of healing towers, and then of course quick exits right now for your starting gems. Again, I talked about a little bit, Shane, for carries. I've been saying the lifesteal gem is better than the. I don't play carry. Let me preface this by saying I don't play carry. But I've been saying the lifesteal gem, with the way attack speed is now and how damage works, the lifesteal gem is better for carries than the multi-shot. We did see NATO Sick pick up the multi-shot gem last game. because of, I believe, is the way he built with that Vampiric Blade in Death. But I
agree.
want to see if carries prioritize lifesteal over multi-shot or the other way around. That for me is going to be the interesting gem. That's the gem where I can't 100% decide which one's better.
I think it just all depends on the situation and the build, which is so cool with this card system. So good. Talking about hold on, I can find it. Quick exit. Nailed it. I'm gonna meme a bit here. On quick exit, I really wish every time that procced as you leave the base, the movement speed from Lucio's song would play. That would be the best if we could make that happen.
No.
Speed boost, like that would just be the best. I feel like that'd be fitting.
No, I disagree with you. Flame of Zechen, Shane. We've got 2 out. We've got Richter picked up Zechen. We've got Rampage picked up Flame of Zechen. So this is the card that I wanted to see the most cheese from. I want everybody to be running this card because every 45 seconds, that's what I said, every 45 seconds with very little mana cost. Adrian's in some trouble here. He's going to pop that ultimate. Smash and grab. Is he going to live? No, he's not. There's 4 people there.
He got square formationed right there and pretty much body blocked into a box there and couldn't really jump away. That was all set up by the tether from Heck the Lion.
But I want to see this card. Every 45 seconds you can use this card. It starts out at 500 true damage. It goes up to by 150 damage each use. It makes for soloing Orb Prime very easy and also very quick Orb Prime captures. Quick, like we saw, 14 minutes. You can get that thing up to 1600 damage early. I've seen some where a couple videos where it was hitting for 4K. That takes a lot longer to do, but that's the card I want to see. How are teams utilizing? How are teams utilizing it? Are we seeing multiples on the map? Are we seeing those cheeky 10-minute Orb Prime pickups?
You know what cheese I want to see is the red zone cheese. That would be cool, but that takes so long to get to that I highly doubt we're going to see that. But there's a lot of videos going around where you see people hitting, for like 2K, 3K. Of course, that sort of situation is exactly that. Situational and situational. It probably will never actually happen inside of a competitive game, but it's all about seeing how these players and how these teams utilize these cards and the gems and so on and so forth. Shu, now, I feel like I'm not saying his name wrong, but I just like calling a Richter Shu, and for some reason he's still fitting. He himself has picked up the Flame of Zechen, so that's at least right now 2 Flame of Zechens on the side of Grand Gaming, and just right now 1 on the side of CNF, but they do have 3 growth in Kwong, Narbash, and Grux, so I'd imagine we'll see 1 picked up here, especially since it's a Cultivate card. Cultivate is one of the passives inside of Growth where as you spend money on attributes, the card actually decreases in cost.
Saw maybe in a little bit of trouble here. He's in a lot of trouble, Shane.
And yeah, that's the most trouble you can get in right there.
And I literally don't think you can get any more trouble than that right there. Oh, the damage that just came out of that Sticky Bomb onto Twin Blast there. Dropping down to about 25% health. Tabernac doesn't have the mana to really keep him healed up, so he's just going to back here. We are going to see a tower fall. Kwong's tower is going to fall. Heck the Lion, so we saw Heck the Lion last game, Shane, on Wukong, and they really just kind of shut him down. They didn't allow him to do anything over here. That was Reborn. He has not been shut down yet. He's still farming okay. He's picked up Nitro Boost, which is going to give him that attack speed and movement speed. He also has Poised Aggressor. We are a little engagement over here. Rasta.
Adrian was going to pick up the kill. Oh, there we go. I thought Mournfall was going to be able to get away, but we haven't seen Murdoch in so long. Sometimes you forget that you can't get away from the long arm of the law for all you criminals out there. Murdoch will show up and shoot you with a laser. And that's precisely what happened. Get shots out of the skies from Make It Rain. What are the teams going to do here? Respawn timer still only about 15 seconds, so windows of opportunity are small and narrow. We actually just saw Adrian rotate over the Raptors and pick the Raptors up utilizing that Flame of Zechen, as well as he has the Mother Tree, which helps him inside with regen, so on and so forth. And now Heck the Lion went for a tether, but maybe getting punished here. A very aggressive positioning coming out from the Murdoch. Though Kwong is extraordinarily tanky and also can just straight out juke you if you forget that he can teleport away. And there is a rotation coming out from Richie, but he's low on health, more importantly low on mana. Not going to be able to sustain any sort of fight. And so Heck the Lion, with a little bit of out-thinking of his opponent, is going to be able to get away from what could have been an easy kill.
10 minutes into the game, we're still early game, Shane. I mean, this is 10 minutes and 40 seconds. We've got a couple flames on the line. We've got Glycerin Dawn picked up by Gadget here.
Oh, wow. Fortzy just got taken out by Iggy. They disrespected the Iggy, and that's a double kill. He's looking for the triple. Mighty's in some trouble, but he might be able to get away. Grux having the tankiness, but that's why you don't go in on an Iggy when he has his turret set up. You just saw why. 3 turrets, smash the R button, a couple auto attacks, and just like that, he kills both. That was 1v3. Iggy got 2 kills out of it.
That's because Iggy's the man. You can't go in. You can't go in on that. We talked about this earlier. You got to punish him.
I don't know. I don't know.
You got to punish him. You don't let him set up.
What if you're Aurora?
You don't do this.
Okay.
You don't let him set up. If there's 4 turrets, don't engage on that. What this has done is open up Orb Prime for these guys. Does look like Adrian is going. He does have his Flame of Zetchin. Has not used it yet. We're going to see people use that more towards the end of it to help secure. So get the damage out, and then that big burst of damage at the end of it. He's an 11-minute Orb Prime right here. I mean, this is basically going to be uncontested. I don't see them not picking this up.
I mean, they have the vision. They know what's going on, but yeah, they're just going to concede it, which I was a little bit surprising because they have a really strong team fighting, early game team fight between the Grux, Narbash, and Kwong being level 10. He's actually the most leveled person on the map right now, has his level 2 Fury of the Heavens. I would have loved to see them keep 10 that. I think they actually could have got a lot of work done there. Of course, the big factor is Iggy and Scorch setting up the zone control, which may be probably the biggest reason as to why they didn't contend it, but instead they're going to have to make their stand somewhere else. It appears to be it's going to be the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Keep your eyes on the lateral lanes, though, because we do see 2 team members of CNF pushing them down at the same time.
So, Shane, at 11 minutes, we were early game. At 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we transitioned right into the mid and late game.
Yep.
Prime pickup. They are pushing down this tier 2 tower. They do have okay lane clear with the Twin Blast, Mighty U with that smash and grab, and of course Mornfall with that R2000. So they have decent lanes there. I don't want to see them overcommit to the tier 2 tower. Let it fall. You may lose your jump pads, but live to fight another day. Richie Man going on that back line.
Rishi might have overextended. Smasher Grab is going to be there, but they have to be careful. If she was trying to get the damage down, Iggy and Scorch is just all the damage from it. Actually, just 1 turret, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. And this may be a moment that CNF is looking for to exploit. Richter is going to get taken out. He's trying to get the damage onto Murdoch. Uses the knockaway, but Heck the Lion is going to swing the sword and pick up the kill. Support for a carry. They are going to be able to get it, but nope. It's looking like, they get the tower. They give up a kill, and maybe now they're looking for more, as Adrian did land a boulder, but it's going to be on Kwong. He's a little bit too tanky to initiate on.
I really want CNF to keep engaging this. Like, don't let them back. You've got stuff pushing into tier 2 towers. Grand Gaming is possibly going to lose tier 2 towers. Keep up being the aggression here. You've got people that are somewhat healthy. Sticky Bomb is on Heck the Lion. He may... Oh, ton of damage just went out on Tabernac there.
If I'm Tabernac, I'm like, what are you doing?
Why are you so close to me? Here's 25% health. It's gone. So the towers, they actually don't keep... The towers don't fall on the side of CNF. They are going to stay standing, but I wanted them to keep that aggression up and hopefully get those towers down. So you lose a tier 2 tower, but the inhibitor's still up. So they've mounted an okay defense. They committed a lot to that. It was only a 1-for-1 exchange, so it wasn't horrible, but...
It was a support for a carry as well.
Right. And so we're looking at these engagements here. It does seem that Grand Gaming does have the upper hand. They seem to be, when they engage, they're engaging a little bit better, and they're actually focusing a little bit better on targets. Whoever Richie Man stun or hits with that sticky bomb, Adrian tries to hit with a boulder. So they are kind of grouping up and trying to take down a target. So they are playing a little bit better at this point. Level 8 for Murdoch. Murdoch has picked up his heavy hitter. He's got his guard piercer online. We've got improved killing blow still. He's picked up Wealthy. His next gem, he has picked up the multi-shot gem as well. So this is the second game we're seeing multi-shot going out, and Twin Blast does have the multi-shot gem as well. So multi-shot over lifesteal. Twin Blast is going for...
this is an interesting card he has picked up, Twin Blast. Flag Bearer.
It's not a bug. We're all seeing flag bearer here, correct?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
So this is giving him the attack speed. When he's near minions, they gain 150 max health and 40 movement speed. Plus they gain 25. He gains 25 basic damage when near an allied minion. I haven't seen this card on a carry, I was expecting more of your heavy hitter guard piercer, Death Chaos build. So this is definitely an interesting card here.
Yeah, it's obviously the strongest card inside of Order that I think a lot of people believe is Sacred Alchemy, of course, which will work with. I mean, multi-shot will amplify that and just increase that with any sort of life skills they can pick up. Mornfall might be some trouble here in the left lane of Salt. Yeah, that's Mornfall engaged into an Iggy with 2 turrets up, and again, that's something you do, actually 3 turrets up. Now he's using the ultimate. Look at that damage. Grux is extraordinarily tanking, and those are just melting through the armor. Simply doesn't matter. And Adrian rotates and is able to pick up the kill onto the Narbash. This is the new Iggy in Scorch. This is the new Dawn. You have to. I think people still have this idea in their head since Iggy hasn't been relevant in I don't know 9 months. That they're like, oh, he's a bad hero. I'm just gonna go kill the Iggy. It's like, no.
It's exactly like that.
I think that's the thought going through everyone's head just now.
You just go in and you're like, okay, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Heck the Lion split pushing here. Murdoch is going to rotate over to try and deal with this. They want this tier 2 tower down. Tier 2 tower is going to fall. We've got them posturing, trying to keep that up. I mean, Heck the Lion he's got level 13 to level 9. I think he's got the advantage here. Is he going to be able to pick up this kill? He is going to use that ultimate, but he's just not going to have enough damage at this point to get it down. So as team's backing, they are going to come and help mount a defense to make sure this inhibitor doesn't go down. 17 minutes into the game, couple Flame of Legends online. Orb Prime, we've of course already seen taken. Level 9 now for Murdoch. He's got Shatter Golem, which is his 13 agility card, 26 power, 18 attack speed. Basic attacks have a 20% chance to deal 100 bonus damage.
What affinity is
that?
That
is chaos, my friend. That is chaos. He's
and
also
that
picked
is red.
That is red. He's also picked
okay.
He's also picked up a Blitz Rush, which is the dash. You dash forward 1,000 units if you kill a hero with it. If I see a Murdoch kill with a Blitz Rush, I'm gonna be pretty excited about it. But it'll also reset the cooldown on that card. Orb Prime should be spawning here in just a few minutes, so expect to see another push at that Orb Prime. It's I don't want to say it's easier to take, but it's easier to take. So expect to see another push. 30 seconds, that'll be up. Another fight around that Orb Prime in just a minute.
The thing about Blitz Rush, well, it is on Murdoch. It did require him to put 2,000 gold into Intellect, which pretty much does nothing for him. Maybe give him a little bit of damage on Buckshot, but
maybe it's more escape instead of going with a blink. It's a cheaper blink.
And also has aggressive potential as well. I actually really like that card on Richter. I think that card on Richter is so good because it, obviously it's skills that he likes to put into, but I think it's a card that many heroes get a lot of utilization out of, including carries. So it's basically the old blink shot is essentially what it is.
Right. Orb Prime is down. They're zoning out here. Don't let this Iggy set up or you're going to lose this Orb Prime, and that's what's happening. Iggy's setting up in this pit here. He has all the control in this pit, Shane. This is, if they want to go in and engage in this, they have to get through 4 turrets. They have to get through an ultimate, and they have to get through this damage.
Mornfall is right there, not going to be able to pick it up as Flame of Zekin is going to secure. That's another great utilization of Flame of Zekin, is it secures the Orb Prime at a low HP. So, yeah, there's you have to be one step ahead of the Iggy, and if you're able to be one step ahead of him, you can just kill him pretty easily. But if you're not, very difficult situation. Speaking of difficult situations, Mornfall is just going to get knocked out of the sky again by the Sticky Bomb as well as the Alarm Helmet Law. So now this is a big power play situation coming out here from Grand Gaming. Prime, now, they're no longer Prime cards. What am I talking about? I've been saying that for so long. Or Prime now online. On the side of Blue Team Grand Gaming, we saw mid lane push before. To the left lane they go to try to siege this down, but I like what Heck the Lion is doing here. He's going to set the lane on the right wave back, and then hopefully if Grand Gaming oversteps themselves, they'll have a lane pushing into their favor. But it all comes down to this inhibitor. Can they keep it alive without their howitzer?
I mean,
no, they can't.
At this point, with the amount of damage coming out, we've got Murdoch basically at full build here. You've got God Rampage. He does have Godbrother Vigilant on. But he's not getting that elevate bonus where he has all of that health. But these guys just have the damage. They've got the economical knowledge. Camernac is going to use that ultimate. It's going to get silenced here. Murdoch is so low. He is
a lot of damage. The skewer from Richter is there to try to delay the inevitable, so they do pick up 2 kills. As long as Hector Lion is not able to pick up this inhibitor, as Richie Man is now forcing him off of it, this is going to be okay. They're going to be back on the field in 20 seconds. They're going to have a great deal of map control on the left side of the map. This is a great exchange for them. Sure, they give up kill on their carry and their support, but getting that inhibitor down is so crucial, and now a win condition available for Grand Gaming here.
So we've got one card of Godmother Vigilant is Huang is running. This card is a Elevate card. So what that means, Shane, is it gives you health and power, increases your max health by 15%, and the Elevate, if it's the only card in your deck, it increases max health by 1% per attribute point in that you purchased. So every time he spends gold into an attribute, he's gaining health. So he is super tanky right now. He deals good damage because of his kit and his scaling, but he's got to be careful. It's a 1v4 situation. He's just tanking this up for such a long time.
He's tanky, but he's not quite tanky enough. The engagement under the tier 2 tower didn't really work out for him there, as actually Grand Gaming, they get the inhibitor. Now they're able to pick... Iggy did fall, but they were able to pick up Bornzy on Twimblast. So yeah, Elevate it's the passive unique to the Order affinity, to where if it's the only card you currently have equipped, gives you a very special big bonus that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get outside of that. And there's also an agility version of it that essentially is the same thing, except it just gives you damage instead of health. Mid lane, tier 1 tower under siege. Now take the damage. 2 minions left. Engagement from Tabernacle, trying to engage on the gadget. You have to be careful with the snares coming out. Bornzy gets the kill over on the Richter, so don't have to worry about any hooks. Mid inhibitor is not going to fall. This could be a good moment for CNF-Esports, especially if they're able to isolate this Murdoch and pick him off, which they are able to do. Kill goes over to the carry, so a big infusion of gold onto him. 5v2 situation, and Grand Gaming, they can play patient, but they aren't, and I think they got a little bit ahead of themselves there.
Yeah, with the size of minion waves and this patch, version 42 minion waves are very large. They stack up really, really quickly. You can just play patient. We saw it before where people, you would set an off lane, you'd allow super minions to push, and then you'd push down the mid lane. Now it's easier to do that than ever because, one, minions are a little bit more difficult to deal with. And so I think Grand Gaming, they're wanting to end this match. They're wanting to just move on to the next one. Unfortunately, it was a misplay. But with the size of minion waves, CNF's not going to be able to get anything off of this. They're going to have to focus a lot to clear out these super minions. Hector Lion was waiting for Mornfall to come back and get that health, but it's even taken him quite a bit of time. So they're going to have to keep someone relegated to the core, making sure minions don't push on that, making sure that they're not taking any unwanted damage on that from the real MVPs of Paragon, Shane.
Always and forever. With Iggy's rework, we've talked about how he has had a big return to the competitive scene here. One thing that he doesn't have that he used to is a great deal of wave clear. His wave clear is okay, but one of his biggest strengths with the old version of him is he had some of the best wave clear in the game, and that's really no longer the case. It pretty much is comparable to like a Gadget or a Gideon or something along those lines. Speaking of Iggy, he has a death card called Finder of Playthings. This honestly is my favorite card in the game.
It's a really good card, Shane. At first when I saw it, I was like, you know what, I'm not a big fan of this. It's not one I think I would use, but I've put it on a lot of casters. So Finder of Playthings, it gives you power, it gives you mana regen, but the big one is Unholy Gaze. You target an enemy hero to reduce their attack speed by 30 and their movement speed by 100 for 2.5 seconds. So for Iggy, well, so not that part. That one is the target part. So what this will do is keep them in their turrets. The thing about this card that I think makes it a strong card and a good card to pick up early is that in addition to this, it'll reveal all enemy heroes for 6 seconds. So it's basically a global ward. It's a strong card that I think if you're behind, or even if you have a nice lead, you're worried about Orb Prime, can show you where everybody's at on the map. If we had heroes like Kalari on the map, or Shadow Dancer, the card that makes you invisible, this card can be used to help try and stop you from getting blown up. Keyword is try, because you have to be able to see that rotation, and that's what this card does.
A big power boost over on Murdoch here. Shatter Golem now picked up, which now has that critical strike online. So the burst damage coming out from him is going to be significant, and they have to respect that. At the same time, he's also very fragile. Gates is here underneath tier 2 tower. Smash and grab is there, but Hector Lion gets blown up by the time he can do much of anything. We see the crash bang boom, but it pretty much is just a faulty crash bang boom. Hit a bad note. He has to cancel it right away. You see Borny trying to jump away from Tabernacle before he ultimately gets picked off here. Slow siege. They're just picking targets off one by one, and as of right now, it's just a 5v3 defense. 0-2 tower to fall, but the big question is the inhibitor. More importantly, the core, as their big defense tools, again, aren't really online right now, and they have to deal with an Iggy, giving him time to set up his turrets. It does take time. He can't set them up as quickly as he used to. But the moment he does, that is a pretty much an area, a dead man zone. Inhibitor's going to fall. Both lateral lanes now under constant pressure from the perpetual push of the powerful minions. And mid lane is the next siege here. And being down 3 inhibitors on this patch is almost insurmountable odds.
Being down 2 on this patch is almost impossible to deal with if you don't have proper lanes there. I mean, we do have multi-shot on the carry, so it's going to be able to... But 2 inhibitors down. I mean, look at the size of this minion wave marching into the core here. Plus, they're still continuing to push mid lane. With all 3 of these down, they have to commit 2 people to push the outside lanes all the way out, and then you have to be able to 3v5 in order to try and make a play here. Because with minions constantly pushing like this and the size, it's going to be, at this point, just a slow bleed. Grand Gaming is going to back off. They're going to go pick up that Orb Prime because they can, and it'll just secure their victory. There's really very little that CNF can do at this point.
Very difficult situation, especially because they have a draft that doesn't have much of any wave clear. Pretty much R2000 rockets and smash and grab is about it. They don't have someone like a Countess or a Wukong or someone like that who can just push these waves out. If they did, this would be a little bit better of a situation, but even then, those are dire straits. Mid lane with Orb Prime online, this can just be a very, very slow siege. Patience is what I want to see at a Grand Gaming, because if they get ahead of themselves, they actually will give a little bit of room to CNF-Esports, and all the lead that they've built up until this point will be all for none.
Right.
Still, they are playing smart. They're letting the minions do the work for them. As you can see, the cores enter siege, forcing a big response back to the core. Falling back is CNF-Esports, as they have no decision. This is going to be the last stand, the last bastion of hope for them to stay inside of this here. As they were just taken out by a Reborn, have a little bit better engagement. Hector Lion goes in. Be looking for a pickoff here over onto Richter, but I'm not entirely sure if that's the target they want to go on. As Hector Lion gets blown up by the time much of anything is able to get done. Over here to the east, we see Twin Blast just got absolutely destroyed, and I believe this is going to be it. With 2 members down on the side of CNF, this is going to be Grand Gaming picking up the game against CNF-Esports, and GG to them. Well done. They played it smart. They played with the minions, and ultimately they sieged it slowly down, which I think is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we saw 3 Orb Primes pick up. First one at 11 minutes. Every time it spawned, they were picking this up. Massive mini wave on here. They're going to pick that up. I mean, good game to Grand Gaming. They played smart. They played slower than I think we're going to see a lot of teams play. But they just played around the objectives, and they played around the strength of the minion waves this patch. So congratulations to Grand Gaming. They're moving on to their next set of games. We're currently doing the group stages right now. We will have a couple more matches to cast today. Shane, so one of the things we talked about a little bit, but
let's talk about that.
Godmother Vigilant. I expect to see this card a lot this patch. For junglers, it's a great card on Rampage. It's an amazing card on Kwang. Yep. We saw both Grux, Grux and Kwang the last game with that card. Are we going to see Sevarog? Because it works with his stack. So you've got Sevarog, who's possibly sitting at 8,000 health. Who are we going to see pick up this card? There's so many different heroes that can use this card and benefit from it. And of course, Shane, 30-minute match. This is when we look at Paragon Competitive League. I know a lot of people said match times are much faster. I want to say our average was right around 31 minutes for teams that were evenly matched before 42. Are we going to see a drastic shift in match times? Both of these matches so far have been sub 30 minutes. Do you think with the changes in the speed of the game, we'll see a couple more quick games today?
I think the biggest attribute in terms of average game length has less to do with the pace of the game and more so to do with the fact that people still have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
I think that's the biggest attribute to it. The reason why we see such rotation-heavy, pick-off-oriented play thus far is because finding out how to manipulate advantages outside of just killing people on the map, that takes time to learn with the patch that changed the way minions work, time to kill on minions, the way last hits work. speed and heroes. Some are faster, some are slower. So many small variables that were changed with this recent patch that now teams have to figure out other strategies besides just killing each other. And that takes a long time. That isn't something you could just do over the week's period, a little over a week that this patch has been out now. So I think that's the biggest attribute as to why we're seeing, so much rotation early on. Is it's very intuitive to say, oh, okay, how do I get an advantage here? I just go over and kill that guy. But as teams start to develop more strategies, understand the new card system a little bit better, reiterations of the patch, balances, so on and so forth, we'll probably start to see that game length average out a little bit longer. That's almost exactly what happened when Monolith first came out. People had no idea what they were doing, so literally just people were just running around trying to kill each other until things were figured out and fleshed out, and then game time started to hit 45 minutes, 50 minutes, sometimes even an hour. So I think that's why we're seeing a little bit of shorter games. With that being said, though, I'm all for it. People just running at each other and trying to kill each other. Like that's quality entertainment. I
mean, we've been talking all week. Shane and I've been talking all week about casting these games, and
yes, we have.
How much the chaos and how fun it was going to be casting these matches. We're getting through right now. We're doing the group stages. We'll be jumping in elimination bracket a little bit today. So we're trying to get our top teams here. We've got returning teams. We're going to have Hydra Esports versus the Tryouts next. We're going to take just a few minutes to get this set up, guys. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out. We'll see you guys in just a minute.